Welcome, everyone. This is Betska, the Guru Coach, together with my handsome, don't you like his outfit, Raj Vashisht. We are Mindful Leadership Beyond Borders podcast, and our guest today is Cheryl Joslin. Many of you know her from past podcasts, and she's back by popular demand because her podcasts are so popular. People love learning from this giant of a lady. Let me introduce you to her. She has 40 plus years in leadership development and executive coaching, certified coach from Royal Roads University here on Vancouver Island in Canada. She's an expert in Brene Brown's Dare to Lead methodologies, and her goal is to deepen one's emotional intelligence and unlock leadership potential. We all have that, but many of us keep it locked in. And she wants to guide people towards making impactful decisions. Her personalized approach connects people to the core of their challenges, refines their leadership skills, and enhances team productivity for significant operational improvements. She can prove it. So do ask her more about that. Embracing vulnerability. Wow, it's sometimes very hard for us to be vulnerable, right? Embracing curiosity and authenticity. You will embark on a transformative journey that redefines leadership in today's world, aiming for personal and professional growth at every step. Welcome, Cheryl. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again too. And I do love Raj's shirt. I'm not going to lie. And just so you know, vulnerability is a work in progress every day for myself as well.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's not easy in
No.
this world to
Yeah,
be vulnerable. And it's not always
exactly.
safe, and you have to determine that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Well, thank you. And the topic that we worked on together for today for our guests is people are seeking you. Let me repeat that. People are seeking you. Belonging is the most important thing. Wow, doesn't that resonate with the heart? It hits the heart chakra, just those two sentences. So, Cheryl, we're going to start off by saying, what does it mean to say people are seeking you?
Betska, it's such a deep question, right? And has so many places you could go. But for me, it means people are craving leaders, and I'll take it from a leadership perspective, that make them feel safe. It's safe to be human. It's safe to grow. It's safe not to get it right. It's safe to
Mm,
ask for help. And really,
mm,
that's where we build trust. I mean, listen, look, I get it. Like, as a leader, we rise up through the ranks with hard work because we start a lot of us in that place that's, we start in the lower positions, hopefully, so we can feel what it feels like. And I get what it's like to, you walk in, you see a problem, you fix it, yeah, flick on the breaker. I always like to use that as an analogy. You flick on the breaker, and then you walk out with your cape just flowing in the wind.
mm.
I'm a
Superman.
superhero. I'm a superhero, superwoman. I wear my suit of armor, which is what gets in the way with vulnerability, big time.
Mm,
But it's dramatic. And to be honest, feeds the ego quite a bit at that space where sometimes you're having a day where you like some ego feeding, right? So,
mhm,
um, but here's the thing: it's a short-term fix. It doesn't build capability in your people
mm,
at all. It
mm.
it it and quite frankly, it makes more work for leaders. Makes more work for you because if you have to do your job and you're doing your people's job as well, it is not your job to do the work. I love leaders who are like, I take care of the customer. When's the last time? I mean, in fact, I had a boss that when the customers would call, they would freak. We didn't like don't call the boss because we'd lose that customer because they'd freak out at them. They take it really personal. Their ego would get in the way. It's not your job. Your
Mm.
job is to take care of the people who take care of the people who take care of the people who take care of the work and the customers. They do it
Okay.
amazingly.
Hmm. So
Really.
people are seeking you if you are what?
If you're creating an environment where they feel safe, they feel like they
Ah,
belong, you're
okay.
taking care of them.
Right.
You're going and you're having conversations with them. You're empowering your team. You're setting clear expectations. You're setting them up for success, and you're teaching them, and you're letting them make mistakes. So they're
Mm-hmm.
seeking. People are seeking places that make them feel like I matter. That's what people are asking themselves
Right.
today. Do I
Yeah.
matter? It's not a
Yeah.
life of significance anymore. It's this
Yeah.
generation especially, but all the way through, people are asking, do I matter? Does this
Mm-hmm.
work matter? They're saying to themselves, this work doesn't even matter. Why am I doing this work? It doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Why do
So,
I even bother showing up? Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. And we
Mm-hmm.
continue to watch them fall in leaders where we don't really get it. We continue to watch them fall instead of catching them when they're rising, catching them when they're doing it right, making them
Mm-hmm.
feel psychologically safe, right? People
Mm-hmm.
aren't seeking capes and fireworks. Let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
seeking someone who believes in them enough to stay, to cheer them on, and then to show up fully and make a difference in them.
So why do you think people are hungry for that kind of what are the dynamics in the world right now that are creating that hunger for that type of leadership where they are creating a safe place where people belong?
Because right now, I think people are barely holding on.
Barely holding on?
Yeah, I think people
Wow.
should work. They're barely holding on with the psychological. Right now, people are walking around. Well, let's see, they're holding on with a forced smile and a coffee. That's what they're
Mm,
doing, right? So we're all walking around with backpacks filled with grief, anxiety, burnout, self-doubt. And that isn't just now. It's just gotten
yeah,
worse because
yeah.
people are now disconnected,
Mm-hmm,
right? They're using
mm-hmm,
a device, which don't get me wrong, technology is amazing and it can give
yeah.
you lots of information. Embrace AI. There are so many things that AI can do for you that frees you up to be that space for the leader to look at people. So embrace it. Don't, but it's not going to replace leadership because
Mm-hmm,
it's that emotional leading from your heart, right? I mean, people are
yeah, yeah.
walking around. We're in a massive crisis right now because people are walking around with a mountain of hope deficit and mental health
Mm,
crisis. I think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
what people are seeking, right?
Mm-hmm,
People
mm-hmm,
are tired. And like I said, do I matter? Does this matter? Does anything
yeah,
matter?
yeah.
So it's wild. Like, and here's the thing. There are studies out there that say Gallup's done a poll that says your leader has more influence on your health than your doctor.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow. Who
yeah.
said that? Where did you say that? See that?
Gallup did a poll. Like
Gallup did.
they've done studies. Harvard's done studies around that the fact that it's yeah your work has a bigger
Mm-hmm.
impact. Because think about it, people are walking around stressed out to the
Yeah,
max.
yeah, yeah,
So if we're
yeah.
not taking care of our people, if we're not using compassion and kindness, how many people are telling themselves a story that they're not good enough? I mean, Raj,
Oh
Betska,
yeah, yeah,
right? I
yeah,
tell
yeah,
myself, like the first
yeah.
thing we do, right? Because we're not that far from the Paleolithic era. Right now, what's chasing us is not a tiger. What's chasing us is
Mm,
our own voices in our head.
yeah, yeah.
Good, bad. And we're
Mm-hmm,
walking around looking for great leaders who are
mm,
kind, compassionate. We need people to show up, leaders to show up with calm, curiosity, and a willingness to have hard conversations. That's really what's missing in a lot of stuff. We're looking for someone that can
mm,
have mental health wise, instead of letting your people walk around the hallways being like, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get fired. Right. And then they phone somebody and be like, hey, you know what? If I'm going to get fired, Raj is going to get fired. I'm taking Raj down with me, instead of circling around and having a hard conversation with their boss that says, hey, you know what? What? I think you're mad at me. Are you mad at me?
mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah,
also
yeah.
this, right? Like, are you mad at me?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Raj, I would love to know your perspective. You know, you're an executive search guy. you're an expert in the field. And what are you seeing out there with respect to leadership and the people that you find for corporations? And I've heard you say before, it's a long time ago now, but that the people that you would find for these corporations would come back to you and say, I don't want to work at that place anymore. It's, things. So what is happening from a leadership perspective, from your point of view? What's going on?
Actually, the main thing is there the person to person liking and disliking also. Because I have seen sometime company environment is not good, sometime leader is not good, sometime salary increment and salary system is not good, and sometime employees also not good. I have seen so many employees also, they have habits, complaining, no accountability, no responsibility, only blaming the company is not good, the other person is not good. So self accountability and responsibility is also very important. And the other very good point, do I matter?
Do I matter? Yeah.
I have seen so many people around the different area. They don't care about do I matter. They care about only just we are surviving and leading our life. They don't know why they are leading, why they are surviving. They don't know. But they are only just concerned about good car, good house, good show off, Instagram, movies.
Yeah.
They have certain copy paste life. If you are doing, so I will also follow. If he is doing, I will. They don't know you require or not. If you are going Maldives, if you are going Canada for travel, would I like this place or not? Only just you are going, so I am also going for just for my status and sake of network to show off. Oh, she went Italy, so I will also go Italy. This is the problem.
So
have,
yeah,
that is
it
why.
must be.
So
yeah, go ahead.
see, for example, I need $10,000 money every month for my good surviving. So why I will chase $20,000? No need. If I'm happy, why not I will enjoy and survive in a good way? And I'm just copying because you are earning 20,000, so I will also chase 20,000. Although you don't require, you have luxury house, luxury lives, each and everything. So
in other words, people are looking at, the way they want to belong is they want to have the same things that other people have, and they're not going inside to find their own strengths. And even Cheryl, even that when I think about leaders that I've had before I started my own company, it took a lot of courage to stand up to those guys.
Yes,
absolutely.
And man, like I would ask for an appointment with the vice president, and then I closed the door. And when I closed the door, he knew that I was just about to give him a blast of some kind. I was always very nice about it, but I would just say, look, we have a problem here and it needs to be solved. And here's the solution. He always wanted me to come with solutions. And he was the type of guy who would say, okay, let's do it. Let's try it. And so I really appreciate that. So that kind of leads me to the next question. If people are quietly searching for someone to guide them, how do we become that person so that others can feel safe around us? What do we have to do, Cheryl?
Well, you know what? I'm going to start off by what we don't have to do, which is I see in so many companies. Raj, you probably see this, because of recruiting. It's not by putting we are a people company on a slide deck, and then plastering your values on the break room wall with a, hang in there cat poster. Or I love the one, the 21 laws of leadership, and people put up that, in my time, always put up that eagle poster, soar like an eagle. What does that mean? What does that even mean anyway? So it's, But I mean, I will sometimes you'll coach people and they'll be like, yeah, we're a people company now. I said, yeah, it's on a slide deck. So it's true. But people aren't looking for it on a slide deck. They're looking for you to put it into practice. And I mentioned, the Eagle, the 21 Laws of Leadership, Irrefutable Leadership by John C. Maxwell. And I remember working with a company that they brought out that book. They were gonna, when it first came out, there's 21 laws. But what they did was they weaponized it. They were like, put it on the desk and are like, see, you're not a leader because you're the law of the lid. Or
Oh
you're
my
not a
gosh.
leader because you don't have the law of influence. And when they, when they say that to you, and by the way, I hadn't said to me, you don't have the law of influence. They said it like, there's the career stamp that kills you. So, that's not leadership. That's weaponizing a book club.
Yeah.
And really, Brené's work shows you that in her research, it's when she asked, what are the skills that you need? People are like, I don't know, you either have it or you don't. But then when she started asking questions, they're like, oh yeah, I remember when I learned that. I mean, I'm blessed. I went to a school that there is a university that I went to be a leader. And I would go back to that university on a consistent basis to learn those hard skills, those tough conversations that we need to have, those, sitting down with someone and saying, to Raj's point, holding them accountable. It's not a bad word. It's actually a great word. That's what people want. Even this generation it's not generational. I've sat down with tons of generations in my career, and it's always the same, right? It's that, what are they hanging on to? What is it that they, that experience? And people walk into the room, not just with your conversation, they have their whole life with them in that room. And are you speaking into that? Are you showing that you care about them, creating this safe place? And it doesn't matter the generation. This generation just hasn't even learned to have hard conversations. Again, I'll go back to that device piece. We've learned to like ghost people or explode on people, as opposed to what you said, that courage to walk into a room. But how do you have a conversation where you're like, hey, you know what? Let's put this between us, this in front of us. What's the problem? What's the problem that we need to deal with, right? And so the biggest challenge I see is that people are not, they think it's personal. That in leadership, when someone criticizes me, it's personal. Leadership isn't personal, it's perception. It's how you show up, how people are experiencing, right? And they're, like I said, they're not a blank slate. So how do you show them that you're asking them, it's safe here to be you? And, one of the biggest things I would say as a leader, you need to get clear on your values. It's why the 4 skill sets that Brené looked at was the teaching skill set, which is teachable, measurable, and observable. And then someone gives you feedback. When you say that to someone, they're all like, oh yeah, I remember when that person sat me down. That person talked to me about that. That person said, here's how you're going to get better at that. So then how do we have that conversation? So for me, my values are authenticity and faith. And I'm very clear on what that means, right? And authenticity, you can only have 2, because you can't like get a laundry list of 10 values and say, you know what, was I that today? Was I that today? Was I that today? It's, for me, authenticity rolls up a whole bunch. Was I kind? Was I caring? Did I have curiosity with that person? Or did I lose was I irritable? And it can be in your own personal life. You can snap at your partner and be like, you know what? Let's circle back and say, you know what? Yesterday was my best day. I know it's a hard word. I apologize. Let's clean that up. So I think the biggest thing is get clear on your values, and faith is my other one. And faith for me is tough in these times where the world's at right now.
Yeah.
But look through history. How did the world get through tough times? It's by connecting. It's not by disconnecting. It's not by not. It's by cognitive empathy, not empathy. People misunderstand empathy on a continual basis, right? They, it's like, oh my God, your dog died. Oh God, I know what that's like. But it's cognitive empathy, which is I'm thinking with my cognitive brain, not my limbic system, and I'm saying, hey, that has to be hard. What do you need from me? How can I help you today?
Right.
Or sitting in a room and having that conversation. You know, trust is, building that trust is how you do that, right? And so
Right on.
you don't build trust by saying we're a people company, like I said in the beginning. You build it by leading in a way that people can actually feel that you're coming to the room with concern and caring.
Yeah, right on. Okay. On that note, we're going to pause. And folks, we're going to be right back with part 2 of People Are Seeking You. We'll be right back.